Hello everyone, I am Dr. Vibhash Kumar Rai and today I will talk about the osteology of the fibula. You can see this is fibula and this fibula is the type of the long bone and it is lateral and smaller bone of the leg and it is a very thin as compared to the tibia, and this fibula is a homologous with the ulna of the upper limb. If we talk about their side degeneration, as a long bone, the fibula has upper end, then this middle shaft and the lower end. When you observe the upper end, this upper end of the fibula extends slightly all direction and you can see here a projection. This projection is called styloid process of the fibula. This styloid process situated posterolaterally. When you observe the lower end of the fibula, this lower end of the fibula extend anterior-posteriorly and slightly this lower end flattened. And on the medial surface of this fibula, there is a triangular fissure anteriorly and a deep fossa. This deep fossa is called malleolar fossa. This malleolar fossa present posteriorly. So, this manner you can easily identify the side degeneration fibula. Now we'll talk about the feature of the fibula. As I told, fibula has upper end, middle shaft and this lower end. When you observe the upper end, you can see this slightly expanded part is called upper end, and the superior surface of the upper end which bear a circular fissure somewhat here. This circular fissure articulate with the lateral condyle of the tibia. The apex, you can see here, this is the apex of the fibula. This apex of the fibula, or this apex, is also called as styloid process, which project upward from its posterolateral part. Then just below the head you can see here a constricted part. This constricted part is called neck of the fibula. Now we'll talk about the shaft of the fibula. The shaft shows the considerable variation in its form because it is modulated by the muscle attached to it. That's why it has three borders: anterior, posterior and medial, and three surfaces: medial, lateral and posterior. If we talk about the borders of the fibula, you can see here this border is called anterior border. This border is called anterior border. The anterior border being just below the anterior aspect of the head, at its lower end it divides to enclose an elongated triangular area which is continuous with the lateral surface of the lateral malleolus here. The posterior border of the fibula is rounded. Its upper end lie in the line of the styloid process. Here we have a styloid process, and the upper end of the posterior border lie at the line of this styloid process. Below the border is continuous with the medial margin of this malleolar fossa. This is malleolar fossa. Then the interosseous border. Interosseous border also called as medial border. The interosseous or medial border lie just medial to this anterior border. This border you can see here, this border is called anterior border, and just medial to this anterior border you can see here another border. This border is called medial or interosseous border here. This interosseous border terminate below at the upper end or roughened area above the talar fasciate of the lateral malleolus. In the upper 2/3, the interosseous border is very close to the anterior border. As you can see here, this upper end of this interosseous border is very close to the anterior border. Now we'll talk about the surface of the fibula. As I told, fibula has three surfaces: medial, this one is called medial, lateral and posterior surface. First, medial surface. This medial surface lies between the anterior border and interosseous border. This border is anterior border and this border is interosseous border or medial border. In between these two borders we have a surface. This surface is called medial surface. In its upper 2/3 of the medial surface is a very narrow, measuring 1 mm or less than 1 mm. Then the lateral surface present in between the anterior border, this anterior border, and round posterior border. This surface is called lateral surface. This lateral surface is twisted backward in lower part. When you see the lateral surface, and from the upper part it is laterally, and when you go to their lower part it is somewhat twisted in backward. Then the posterior surface. Posterior surface present in between this medial border or interosseous border and posterior border. This whole part is called posterior surface, present in between this interosseous and posterior border. In its upper 2/3, you can see here, the upper 2/3 of the posterior border is divided into a two part by a vertical ridge. You can see here, from this vertical ridge, this upper 2/3 part of this posterior border divided into two parts. This vertical ridge is called medial crust. This vertical ridge is called medial crust. Then we'll talk about the lower end. Lower end of the fibula, also called as lateral malleolus. The tip of the lateral malleolus is 0.5 centimeter lower than the medial malleolus, and its anterior surface is 1.5 centimeter posterior to that the medial malleolus, and it has the following four surfaces. First is anterior surface. This anterior surface is rough and rounded. Then the posterior surface. The posterior surface is marked by a groove, you can see here. Then the lateral surface. Lateral surface is subcutaneous. Then the medial surface. The medial surface bears the triangular fasciate anteriorly. This triangular fasciate, which articulate with the talus, and posteriorly it bears the deep fossa called the malleolar fossa. Now we'll talk about the attachment of the fibula. First, we'll discuss the attachment over the medial surface. Medial surface of the fibula divided into three parts for learning of the attachment purpose: upper 1/3, middle 1/3, and lower 1/3. One whole of the upper 1/3 and anterior half of the middle 1/3. From this part we have a origin of the extensor digitorum longus on the medial surface, and rest of the posterior half of the middle 1/3. From here we have a origin of the extensor hallucis longus, and rest of the lower 1/3, whole of the lower 1/3. From here we have a origin of the peroneus tertius. Now we'll talk about the attachment over the lateral surface. This lateral surface of the fibula also considered as a peroneal surface. This peroneal surface also divided into three parts for learning of the attachment of the fibula. Upper one third, whole of the upper one third, and posterior half of the middle one third is occupy the peroneus longus muscle, and anterior half of the middle one third and whole of the lower one third. From this part we have a origin of the peroneus brevis muscle. So on the lateral surface, the whole of the upper one third and posterior part of the middle one third. From this part we have a origin of the peroneus longus. This part we have origin of the peroneus longus, and the anterior half of the middle one third and whole of the lower one third. From this part we have a origin of the peroneus brevis. Then on the posterior surface, as I told you, the upper part of the posterior surface is also divided into medial and lateral part by this medial crust. Okay. So the part of the posterior surface between the medial crust and posterior border, this round border is called posterior border. So the part of the posterior surface in between this medial crust and posterior border, from this part we have a origin of two muscle. First is soleus, from its upper 1/4 area. From this part we have a origin of soleus muscle, and flexus hallucis longus from its lower 3/4 area. From this part we have a origin of the flexor hallucis longus. This part, from this part we have a origin of the soleus, and this part we have a origin of the flexor hallucis longus. Then the part of the posterior surface between the medial crust, this crust is called medial crust. Between this medial crust and interosseous border. Interosseous border also called as medial border. From this part we have a origin of the tibialis posterior muscle. From this part we have a origin of the tibialis posterior muscle. Now we'll talk about the attachment over the head. Now the head of the fibula, which receive of the insertion of the biceps femoris, somewhat here we have a insertion of the biceps femoris on the C-shaped manner, or just below or slope-like part of the anterolateral apex of this head. From here we have a insertion of the biceps femoris. Fibular collateral ligament of the knee joint is attached within the C-shaped area. From this part we have a attachment of the fibular collateral ligament of the knee joint. This part is called articular facet, and just around this articular facet we have an attachment of the superior tibio capsular ligament of the superior tibiofibular joint. Then the anterior border, this anterior border of the fibula, which give attachment to the anterior intermuscular septum. Then the superior extensor reticulum to its lower part of the posterior margin of the triangular area. Then the posterior border, which give attachment to the posterior intermuscular septum. Then the interosseous border give attachment to the interosseous membrane. You can see here this triangular area above to the medial surface of the lateral malleolus give attachment to the interosseous tibiofibular ligament from here in its medial margin. From here we have a attachment of the interosseous tibiofibular ligament. The joint between the lower end of the tibia and fibula is called syndesmosis. Then the anterior margin, which gives the anterior tibiofibular ligament. From this part we have a attachment of the anterior tibiofibular ligament. Then the posterior margin, which give attachment of the posterior tibiofibular ligament. Okay. Then the attachment of the lateral malleolus are as follows. This is called lateral malleolus. The anterior tibiofibular ligament to the anterior surface. This portion give attachment to the anterior tibiofibular ligament. From here we have an attachment of the inferior transverse tibiofibular ligament. Then the capsular ligament, which is the capsule of the ankle joint along the edge of the lateral malleolus. Slight notch on the lateral border give attached to the calcaneofibular ligament. From this part we have attachment of the calcaneofibular ligament. Then the groove on the posterior margin, this groove, then the groove on the posterior surface of the malleolus, which lodge over tendon of the peroneus brevis, which is the deep, and the tendon of the peroneus longus, which is superficial. So this is all about the osteology and muscle attachment of the fibula. I hope you all are understood the topic.